The police once surrounded my house after I set off an alarm in my bikini bottoms.
David's team.
Interesting. Interesting location for the alarm. What was the alarm that you set off and how did you set
It was the house alarms. I was actually ironing in the garden with my bikini on, and I had the remote control for the alarms tucked down my bikini.
Let me stop you there. I could have sworn you said you were ironing in the garden in your bikini.
Yes.
It's a classic domestic scene.
I love that commitment to ironing. I haven't ironed anything since the late 90s, but it's very good.
We can tell, Lucy.
Yeah.
When was this, Debbie?
Oh, quite a few years ago now.
And in your bikini bottoms was the remote control for what?
That set off the house alarms.
For the burglar alarm?
Yes,
essentially.
so I don't know what you call them.
A panic button.
Like a panic button, yeah.
I think if I was in the garden in a bikini ironing, I'd feel very vulnerable because there's a lot of flesh, isn't there, in the iron? You know how easy the phone rings and you do that? Did you not
to be honest, if you're gonna smash the iron into your head, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a bikini or the uniform of the Chelsea pensioners, you're still gonna get burnt.
So what happened when you pressed the alarm? Who was alerted and what did they do?
So I didn't know because it doesn't set the alarms off, it just rings the police. And so 15 policemen came round the corner.
They shouted, "No, start with the collar, then the sleeves."
I never tried it again, so I don't know.
How did they react? Did they see the funny side?
Yes.
No, she wasn't facing them. I'm so sorry.
I know that's rude, but I can't quite figure out why. OK, well, I mean, it's elaborate, it's odd, it's unusual. Is it true?
In my younger days as a sun worshipper, I would do anything outdoors. When you're young and you want a tan, you just do anything.
What do you think?
Oh, I think... You know you had to make quicker decisions on the football pitch, don't you?
I think that's true.
You think it's true?
I think
you think it's true? We think it's true.
They think it's true. Debbie, truth or lie?
It's true.
Yes, it's true. Debbie did once set off an alarm that was in her bikini bottoms.
At home, if I need to remember to do something, I will put my slippers on the wrong feet and won't swap them back until I've done it.
David's team.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we can go straight to an answer.
So, John, was it the truth? Wait a minute.
So you put your slippers on the wrong feet to remind you that you've got something to do?
Yes.
As like a knot in the handkerchief?
Yes, I stopped carrying a handkerchief around the house in sort of the mid-19th century.
Yeah. I still carry a handkerchief. I won't get it out because, of course, it's encrusted with snot.
Hi, girls!
You not just use your phone and put an alarm on or something?
So spot the generation gap here. Look.
I quite often set an alarm on my phone. I've got an alarm set on my phone now to remind me to put the bins out later.
Yeah, but that's kind of different to what Aston's doing. Yours is sort of an early onset tactic, isn't it?
I love the way you leant forward so happy then as well. I set an alarm on my phone.
Let's go back to Mr. Cool with his shoes on the wrong feet. What sort of thing would you use it to remind yourself to do?
Well, we have moved house recently, so I very often
Remind yourself not to go back to the old house.
I'll be unpacking something and I'll think, oh, I'll put that picture up and I'll go up to get a hammer from the hammer room. And then on the way up, I'll see something else that needs doing. I'll think, oh, I'll put that washing away. And then by the time I'm putting the washing away, I've forgotten about the picture.
Paint a picture for the viewers who are wondering what sort of slippers you wear.
They're a sort of blue... They're a sort of corduroy slipper, David, you would like. I mean, they're almost sort of... They look the same. It's just sometimes I put them on the wrong way by accident, and I think, what have I got to do? And I think, oh, no, I've just put them on the wrong foot.
What are you thinking, David's team?
What do you think?
I would say it's true.
Yeah, I think it's a good system.
It's so plausible, isn't it?
I'm going to adopt this. I'm thinking of swapping my shoes now to make sure I don't forget about the bins later.
So, John, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Okay. When I was Baby Spice, I mainly just ate baby food.
David's team.
So you only ate baby food?
Yeah. So I moved in with the girls. We lived together, and we didn't have very much money. So I used to eat baby food.
What were the other girls eating at this stage?
Beans on toast, corned beef and rice.
Corned beef and rice? Who was eating that?
Who do you think?
I'd go for Mel B.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'll just eat it.
It would never occur to me to eat baby food. How did you discover that?
It was either my nephew or a cousin, a baby, and I must have just tasted it.
What were you were stealing baby food off a child.
I still do it now with my own kids.
What were your stools like?
I don't think that question's ever been asked before on this show.
I'm going to answer that.
But because
you
having...
don't have to answer that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because having been an active father with nappy changing, I know the effect that stuff has on your system.
I think there's a trajectory. What you're talking about is when a baby goes from just having milk to having the first baby food, there is a marked change in the nature of the stool. Basically, it turns into normal excrement, which is not very nice, from being extremely, you know, the most pleasant of the excrements is the excrement of a baby before it is weaned. I'm not saying it's an actively nice substance, but of all the excrements, it's definitely my favourite.
Can I just say, David, on behalf of the team, thank you for getting us past Sean's awkward moment.
Thank you. If you like, I'll rank all of the excrements. So I would prefer horse to dog. Who wouldn't? No one puts dog on their roses.
Tell you what, why don't you relax for a little while? So, what are you going to say?
I think it's a lie.
What do you think?
I think it's false.
We're going to go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Right. Emma, truth or lie?
Unfortunately, it's true.
I once sneezed so hard in my car, I set off the airbag.
Please, Steve.
Wow. That is a big sneeze. Where were you?
I was in my car.
Whereabouts was the car in the country?
I was on a motorway.
Oh, you were travelling. At what speed?
Yes. About 65, 70.
Are you saying that you sneezed and the airbag went off, or are you saying you sneezed, crashed the car, and the airbag went off?
I sneezed, airbag went off, and because I was on the inside lane, I just pulled over.
The sheer force of the air from your nostrils and mouth. This can't have happened since your birth on the planet Krypton.
Did you contact the manufacturers? Can you tell us which kind of car it is?
It was an Audi A7.
Was it?
Yes.
Are you sure it wasn't an Audi do that, because it doesn't sound feasible?
Take us back to the beginning, Dion.
Yes.
Where were you travelling to?
I was on the M6 going from Warwickshire to Manchester.
What did you have to do?
For work, yes.
And what is it that you do?
I talk a little bit on the TV.
So you're some punditry.
I was going to do final score of Match of the Day or Football Focus.
So, Dane, you didn't cover your face when you sneezed?
No,
so that's a naughty boy, isn't it?
You're as naughty as driving without using your hands.
Yes.
Shoo! See, I'm very polite.
And would you say that, as a rule, you are a loud, violent sneezer? Because some give a little...
Yes.
And some go, Gah!
There's one thing worse than both of those, and that is the people that threaten to do a big one, and it's a little one. You know, the ones that go... Can't stand those. They do my head in. What's the build-up for, then?
Where do you fall? Which of those camps are you in?
I'm quite a loud, violent sneezer.
You are.
Which I didn't think I was until I nearly killed myself.
Did you make it to work?
In another car, yes.
Who picked you up?
The dealership. I just rang the dealership straight away.
You rang the dealership?
You don't ring the dealership when you've had an accident.
Because I was on the M6, I was close to where the dealership was, and I thought that would be easier for them to come out and deal with my... I'd get a new car as well. They gave me a new car.
So the dealership...
This is the focus of disbelief.
Dealership.
The dealership I got the car from was in Warwickshire.
Right.
So I called them. I know the guy that owns the dealership.
Off.
I know the guy that owns the dealership.
What's his name?
Send someone out. Lee.
Lee. Oh. Is that right? Is his surname Mac? What's Lee's surname?
Beacon.
Oh, is that why you could see him from so far away? Did Lee personally come and pick you up?
No, he sent one of his staff. No.
What was his name? Was it Debbie?
Bob.
Bob. What was Bob's surname? Light bulb.
Is this true? What are you thinking, Bob?
Well, I'm thinking that big lad like Dion, maybe it could do it.
Debbie?
I just think if it was true, it would have happened to a lot more people, and we can't do that sort of research.
That's the trouble. The scope for research before answering the question on the show is very limited. I always think if we could go away for a couple of weeks, really work on the questions, then we get a lot more right. But...
So, what's it going to be?
I'm going to go with Debbie and say it's not true.
OK. Dion, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
Yes, it was a lie all along. Dion didn't set off the airbag in his car with a sneeze.
One December night, while dressed as Joseph, I had to shove a donkey off a country lane.
Please, team.
When was this, Noddy?
This would have been mid-70s.
So why were you dressed as Joseph?
Well, a friend of mine used to have a party every Christmas time, just before Christmas. And it was always fancy dress. And this particular year, he wanted to feature the Nativity. And I originally wanted to be Angel Gabriel.
Right.
But he said, I'm not having you, Angel Gabriel. You can be Joseph.
Why couldn't you be Angel Gabriel? Because of the accent? You tried it. Oh, look, it's the little baby Jesus.
So I got an old curtain round me and a tea towel on my head.
Like tonight. So, whose party was it?
It was my best friend's party.
OK.
And...
Did they have a name, Noddy?
Swin. His name was Swin.
Swin? I wish you'd have said big ears, but come on. So, where does the donkey...
So, the time was getting on. It was 1 o'clock. I thought I'd better make my way home. And when I get outside, the air hit me, and I felt a bit spacey, and I think somebody had spiked my drink. So I set off, and it sort of got worse and worse as I drove on. I was sort of blue flashing lights coming past me and all sorts.
Those would have been the police.
No. That comes later. Anyway, I'm driving, and I thought, I'll take the scenic route.
Right.
So I started to go down all these country lanes to make my way home. And suddenly, in the middle of the road, is a donkey. So I screeches to a halt, thinking, am I imagining this donkey, or is it a real donkey?
Am I really Joseph?
Is it possible it was just Elvis Costello turning up late to the party in fancy dress?
So I screeched to a halt, and I thought, I better get out and check whether I can't carry on. I couldn't drive round it, the lane was too narrow.
Yeah.
And I got out the car to feel if it was real or not.
Are you genuinely... So you're genuinely still not sure, even though you're right up to it? You have to feel it to
I had to feel it.
Can I ask you a question? Is this one big alibi for touching up a donkey?
So I get behind him.
Good idea. Safest place with a donkey, Noddy.
And start pushing him from behind.
Where's this story leading, Noddy?
Suddenly I hear,
Don't you mean E or E?
Of course, coming down the road is a cop car. Now, I'm used to, in those days, being pulled every night after late...
It's Christmas, Noddy, it's Christmas.
Anyway, they get out the car and do the usual. Here we are. Mr. Christmas, what's he doing now? As a last punchline, I said, I've been celebrating tonight because my wife's just had a kid. Which I thought was pretty good at the time.
What do you think, James?
I think it's true, but it's just nice to listen to him tell the story, and I kind of forgot halfway through I'm meant to be knowing if it's true or not.
He's definitely telling the truth.
I think it's the truth.
I think true.
True?
True.
OK, we'll say
Saying it's true. Noddy, was it true or were you telling a lie?
It is true.
That is true. Noddy did shove a donkey off a road while dressed as Joseph. It's Aston.
A bodyguard once rushed me to safety after a fan went to extreme lengths to get into my hotel room.
Oh, this is ringing bells with you, Lee. Off you go.
What was the extreme lengths this fan went to?
Basically, we unloaded our suitcases off the tour bus and she had got herself into a suitcase and planted it.
Was she called Mrs. Houdini? What are you talking about?
Obviously, she's like someone must have put her there.
Was it zipped up?
I think so.
So I'm picturing it more like Scooby-Doo, like a potato sack tied with rope, and it's sort of moving. And I say, whose bag's this? And she said, no one, just take it to Austin's room.
Was it a woman or a man?
Oh, no, we were told it was a girl.
So you never saw this girl?
Might you have packed her in the previous hotel? You know, it's a bit of a crazy night and you're packing your stuff, and the next thing you know, she turns up at the next Premier Inn.
Yeah, no.
Did you get any description of this girl?
She was all right, apparently, but that was...
What are you thinking, Michaela?
I'm thinking it's probably true. I mean, fans do crazy things, don't they?
Ah, it's hard, isn't it? I think it might be true.
I think it might be a lie, but I'm going to go
Well,
with...
I'm going to change my mind and go with you, then.
No, we can't do that. If you say true and you say true, and I go, well, I think it's a lie, but we'll go true. I'm covered both ways, aren't I? But this way now...
You're on this every week. You don't get Greg Wallace tasting a meal and going, I don't know, what do you think of it?
In that case, we're going to say it's a lie.
You say it's a lie. Aston, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It's true.
I once got my head stuck in a set of railings whilst trying to show my kids how I once got my head stuck in a set of railings.
David's team.
Yes, true, I think.
Just true. Just true.
Where were the railings?
Which time do you mean?
The second time.
The reenactment was at my house, the railings at the front of my house.
And you said to your children, these railings bring back memories of when...
Well, they're very... that's how it started. I said, they look very similar to the railings I had as a child. I said, have I ever told you the story of the time I got my head stuck in the railings? They said, no, Father, do tell. And I tried to paint the picture with words. And as you know, I'm not great at that. So in the end, I just got frustrated. It's not that hard to follow. Look, I'll just show you. Come here.
And where did the original incident take place? The railing incident?
Should we call it Railings 1? The 70s railings.
Yeah.
The 70s railings happened in my hometown.
What happened? So you're stuck?
The first incident ended with the fire brigade being involved.
Yep.
And where were the railings? They were in your hometown, but where specifically?
Railings 1, they were also in my house.
On the front garden of your house?
Yes, yes. We tried it in the upstairs bathroom, but they didn't look nice.
Railings 1.
We were struggling to get out of the bath. Oh, these are...
Railings 1, the fire brigade was called.
Yes, correct.
And what did they do?
They had to saw one of the railings.
Yeah.
What age were you for Railings 1?
I was about 9.
So this is a very scary occurrence for a child of 9. How did you react? Were there little tears?
There was little tears, yeah. Oh, Mother, my head is stuck in the rail, I said, vocally. I'll never forget she came out with a glass of wine and a cigarette and laughed for about 25 minutes.
And how were you extricated after Railings 2?
Yes.
That means how did they get you out of the railings?
We tried all sorts of different systems. The kids started off with Lurpak.
How far apart are the railings?
Oh, about 40 years.
I mean, Railings 2.
Railings 2. It's about the size of his head, obviously.
Well...
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be stuck, would he?
I know.
I can tell you exactly. This far apart.
Did you not think that your bonce was going to get stuck in there?
So I thought what would happen is I'd go in and it'd be a tight squeeze to get them out, but I'd still get it out. But I'd still have sort of proved my point that it's tighter to get it out than it is to put it in.
So did the fire... What happened next?
So my head's in the railings.
They've tried butter.
Railings 2.
Railings 2. Railings 1, fire brigade. It's over.
It's finished.
They've sawed through one of the things, they bent it apart a bit, you got out. Fine.
Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that.
What more?
Well, it's a long story. My mum fell in love with one of them and left my father.
OK.
That's a whole different episode.
Railings 2,
yeah.
They tried butter.
Yes. They tried butter. They tried olive oil. I'm talking about the second incident, not my mum and the fireman.
Yeah.
What did they try? They tried olive oil, they tried butter, they tried soap. They tried an array of lubricants I have in my house.
So at this point, on either side of your head, there's quite a clot of slippy goose.
I'm not going to pretend it was a nice image, because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Especially given that my backside was facing the road. And particularly that I was stupid I was only in my boxer shorts.
You in your boxer
Because I thought this will take a second. No one passes by my house.
This will only take a second, so I'll take my trousers off first.
Did you get scared?
I was apprehensive.
Right.
That someone would phone the fire brigade and an old, wizened fireman would turn up and say...
I remember you.
You've done it again, haven't you?
How did you get out? What worked in the end?
I'll tell you what works in the end. Brute force.
What are you saying, truth or lie?
I think lie.
I think go with your heart.
Yeah.
OK, lie.
David's team is saying it's a lie. Lee, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It's a lie.